Coming up tonight, fancy this. Singapore's first assisted living HDB flats for seniors are set to launch next year. After a COVID-19 scare yesterday, STB says cruises will continue to set sail from Singapore. And a cyclist is jailed for a week after hitting a pedestrian who died of his injuries. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Chao Suen. Also tonight, your favourite Korean actor could be coming soon to a location near you. I'll have more on that later. But first, in a new concept for Singapore, seniors above 65 can apply for assisted living HDB flats from next year. Located in Bukit Batok West Avenue 9, the pilot batch of community care apartments comprises about 160 units and is expected to be completed in 2024. Services offered include 24-hour emergency monitoring and response service, basic health checks, and simple home fixes. All residents will have to subscribe and pay for the basic service package, which starts from $22,000 for a 15-year lease. The build-to-order exercise launches in February. You can visit the exhibition at HDB Hub from next Monday to see it for yourself. More million-dollar HDB flats have changed hands so far this year than all of 2019. 72 units were sold between January and November, compared to 64 for the whole of last year. The highest transacted price for a resale apartment was a 5-room unit at the Pinnacle at Duxton, which sold for $1,248,000. Real estate portal SRX also revealed that HDB resale prices rose for the 5th consecutive month in November, though the volume of transactions dipped. Singapore's pilot for safe cruises will continue as planned, despite what happened yesterday on Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas. An 83-year-old male passenger who had tested positive for COVID-19 on the ship was later found not to have the virus. Singapore Tourism Board said safety remains our foremost priority, and yesterday's incident has given us valuable learnings for future sailings. In response, Royal Caribbean said, "We appreciate the guidance of the government and will continue to work with them to refine our protocols." While most of the 1,600 guests were disappointed that their trip was cut short by a day, some of them said they had no regrets. Professor Teo Yik Ying of the Saw Swee Hock School of Public Health told ST, "There is much that can be learned from this incident."
I do see this to be an important lesson that we will have to take as we move forward, because it will not just be the cruise sector, the cruise industry that will encounter some of these forced results. There will be other settings, including Singapore hosting the World Economic Forum that is coming up in May. We are opening up our nightclub activities, our nightlife activities. More meetings and conventions and conferences will happen in Singapore, which will rely on greater degree of test.
For the 5th straight day, there are no locally transmitted COVID-19 infections, but 6 new imported cases were confirmed today. They were all placed on stay-home notices upon arrival in Singapore. As the pandemic continues to grip the world, yet another major festival in Singapore will see disruptions. The annual Thaipusam Festival, a significant religious event for Hindus here, falls next year on January 28th. It will see several major changes, including no foot procession. Instead, the festival will be conducted in and around the temple on Tank Road. Also, no kavadis, including any variations of body-pierced kavadis. And all devotees must pre-book a time slot online. A cyclist has been given a prison sentence of a week after he collided with a pedestrian who died of his injuries 5 days later. Tony Timo Salminen, who is Finnish, was sentenced after pleading guilty to causing Mr. Chu Fook Yu's death by cycling in a negligent manner. Following an autopsy, he was found to have died from a head injury, consistent to one suffered in a traffic accident. The 42-year-old Salminen had failed to keep a proper lookout while cycling along Sims Avenue on October 1st last year. Crash landing in Singapore. Our sunny city will soon be the backdrop for Korean dramas. The Singapore Tourism Board has signed a 3-year deal with leading Kdrama production house Studio Dragon. This is the first time that the studio, known for runaway hit drama series like Crash Landing on You and Goblin, has entered into an MOU with a national tourism organization. STB will work with Studio Dragon to decide on the locations, products and cultures of Singapore to be featured. Netflix has released Singapore's top-viewed programs in 2020, in what the streaming giant has dubbed the Year of Many Moods. The most popular titles of 2020 on Netflix Singapore by genre include Enola Holmes in the drama category, The King Eternal Monarch in the K-drama category, Emily in Paris in the comedy category, and Money Heist Part 4 is the top-watched thriller. Netflix also revealed that compared to 2019, 2 categories saw a huge jump in viewership, namely K-drama and romance. Both categories saw a 200% increase in viewership. Reeling from competition from the likes of Netflix, Cathay and Golden Village are in merger talks to form what will be the largest cinema operator here. Between the Singapore-listed MM2 Asia and Hong Kong-listed Orange Sky Golden Harvest Entertainment, the 2 groups own a total of 22 cinemas here, with several more located abroad. As part of the deal, the 2 companies aim to bring in new investors to inject more capital into the combined business. Crash and burn. SpaceX's Starship rocket prototype launched successfully, but hit the ground too fast and exploded upon landing. This was the latest test in the development of next-generation spacecraft by SpaceX, the rocket company owned by Elon Musk. The business magnate hopes to one day send people to Mars on Starship. This time, however, the prototype disintegrated into a fireball while landing, leaving behind a cloud of smoke. Despite this, the test was an advance in SpaceX's efforts. Earlier prototypes disintegrated during tests without even leaving the ground. And here are some things opening this weekend. I'm personally very excited for this one. The legendary Orient Express has arrived in Singapore. For the first time ever, 2 of the original train carriages and locomotive, along with over 300 artifacts, will leave France for Singapore, where they will be displayed at the Gardens by the Bay. Singapore is the first country outside of France to host this exhibition. The storied cabins of the legendary Orient Express that served as one of the main bridges between the East and West during the second half of the 19th century will be opened for visitors to bask in the experience of travellers who have used the train for decades. Visitors will also be able to feast on a meal prepared by a Michelin-starred chef on board the replica dining car, which was built in 1925. And that's a wrap for tonight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. I'll see you tomorrow.